Welcome back to Plants Not Plastic. I'm Nikita, and today I'm going to show you how to make mushroom pulled pork that is delicious, inexpensive, simple, healthy, whole foods, plant-based, low-fat, and oil-free. Not only am I going to show you a replacement for traditional pulled pork, but I'm sneaking in a homemade barbecue sauce that's part of the recipe but can also be made on its own. And at the end, I'll show you how to make an easy coleslaw to bring it all together into a mouth-watering sandwich. So you're really getting a 3-in-1 today. Before we jump into the recipe, if you are not already subscribed and you like this video, click the subscribe button and the bell so you can get notifications whenever I upload a new video. I release new content weekly, would love to have you stick around, and appreciate the support. Here's everything you'll need to make this recipe. I'll also leave everything in the description box below, along with a link to the blog post with a printable recipe card. Starting with the barbecue sauce, you'll need just 4 ingredients. To a small saucepan, add balsamic vinegar and the Worcestershire sauce if you're using it, and cook them both down over a medium heat until the vinegary, acidic smell has cooked off and it starts to bubble and smell sweet. Add the paprika, cook for 30 more seconds, and then add the brown sugar and ketchup. From here, you just need to mix everything together and cook it down to your preferred flavor and thickness. I lower my heat and pop a lid on it to keep it from splattering all over the kitchen, stirring it often until I start to see it caramelize and stick to the sides and bottom of the pan, which for me takes about 8 minutes or so. Remove it from the heat, pour it out into a little container, and it is ready to use and enjoy. Moving on to the mushroom pulled pork, you can really use any type of mushroom you'd like for this recipe, but I find that King Oyster mushrooms work because of their long stem and how easily they can be shredded. You'll see this in action in a second. White, cremini, or even Portobellos will also work great, but they won't shred quite as well, and I think that they end up being a little more watery and don't have quite as good of texture, but they're still really good. To shred your mushrooms, you can use a food processor, a grater, or even just slice the mushrooms, but I don't think it looks quite as good using those methods. It doesn't really look shredded the same way that traditional pulled pork does. Instead, cut off the ends and then use a fork to shred your mushrooms one by one. This method gets you really nice, uneven pieces that, to me at least, looks pretty damn close to a shredded meat. When it comes to the caps, I either pinch them off if they're small or cut them up if they're larger, and I tend to cut my shredded bits in the middle of shredding them if they start to get too long. Once all the mushrooms are prepped, we can set them aside to dice the onion and mince the garlic before adding both to a large saute pan. Cook those down over a medium to medium-high heat until you've got a good amount of browning on the bottom of the pan before adding your mushrooms to release their water and deglaze the pan for you without using oil or any additional liquid. Cook those mushrooms until they have released all of their water. All of that water has cooked off and they are starting to brown on the bottom of the pan again, and then you'll add the barbecue sauce to deglaze. When you've stirred well and gotten anything unstuck from the bottom of the pan, turn off the heat and we are ready to move on to our simple, tasty coleslaw. For this, make a single batch of my vegan honey mustard dressing and shred up some green and/or red cabbage. Quick tutorial on that if you aren't sure how. We store our cabbage whole in the fridge and just use it up a leaf at a time. It lasts forever this way, and it is overall easier to work with. For this recipe, I used 2 leaves of each. Once you pulled off your leaves, cut out that thick stem from the center by making a small V, then slice each leaf in half, stack them on top of each other, and then thinly slice away to get your shredded cabbage. You can also throw in 1 to 2 shredded carrots to add some sweetness. Pour the dressing over the top, mix everything together, and then you can serve it right away or let it chill for 30 minutes before serving it so the vinegar in the dressing breaks down and softens the cabbage first. And now the time has come to serve everything up on a whole wheat bun, which I already did off camera so I could snap some photos. Serve it up with a couple of gherkins and dig in for a taste test. This mushroom pulled pork still very much has the texture of mushrooms, but it's sweet and tangy, and when combined with the coleslaw or even just fresh shredded cabbage and some mustard in a bun, it is a wholly satisfying dish. The flavor is great, and it is a super tasty, healthy, minimally processed, whole foods alternative to the real thing. It pairs perfectly with all the other summer dishes I've got coming up in the next few weeks and would be perfect for a backyard summer hangout. For how it stacks up against an alternative, you can check out the full nutrition label on the blog that links up to Chronometer. This recipe, though, is the same as all my others. When comparing it to a non-vegan or processed vegan option, without specialty items or animal products, it will cost you less to make. With plant-based ingredients, it'll have more fiber, and without oil or butter, you'll get to eat more of it for the same number of calories. So that's it for today's recipe. If you try it out, let me know in the comments. You can also subscribe to my blog for recipes right to your inbox and connect with me on social media for day-to-day content. And as always, if you have got a recipe idea, let me know that in the comments as well, because I would love to come up with something that you are looking for. And don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, give this video a thumbs up, and come back next time. Bye.